I'm tired of all of these silly little hunters where they're dying and they're not doing enough damage and their inability to just hunt properly, normally. But what can I do? How could one singular hunter fix all of this?
Danger! 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 Danger!
Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, it is time to get excited, and I mean truly excited, because today what I am bringing you is a build that we can all enjoy, whether you're the one using it or not. This build affects all of the people in a hunt in significant ways, but maybe not in the ways you would normally expect. Every hunter you come across will enjoy the game more, and internally they will thank you, whether they realize that you are the source of their extra fun or not. So without further ado, my precious little poppies, I bring to you the ultimate bard build that I like to call Pill Popper. Starting off with why this build exists, followed by what the build itself actually is, and then the playstyle to adopt while using the build. As for why, I mean, it's quite simple, isn't it? I wanted to know if there was a way to consistently apply might pills to your entire hunting party for the length of an entire hunt. And of course, what better weapon to do that with than the attack buffing legend itself, the hunting horn. Sure, you could go a Healy support, and there are tons of health regen support builds out there that, for the most part, work best on a sword and shield. But what about a support build that focuses not on health regen, but on preventative measures and sizable buffs?
Oh, now I get it!
Essentially, I wanted to know if there's a way to use Iceborne's new skills to make the ultimate buffing build, to use the hunting horn, the king of enhancing your allies, and find a way to make it enhance said allies even further, like significantly further. And ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to report that it is a rousing fucking success.
It's alive!
With this build, you will contribute more or less as much damage to the hunt as a whole as someone wearing a regular damage set, assuming your hunting partners are at least half decent. The damage increase that you give to others makes up for the lower damage of the set itself, which doesn't even take into account the fact that you're also significantly raising everyone else's defense, and are still fully capable of healing and curing statuses and blights for them whenever the situation arises. Yeah, maybe it isn't quite strong enough to be considered any kind of meta, but this build is awesome and absolutely deserves a seat at the table nonetheless.
Oh, he's a madman!
Moving on to the build itself then, and starting off with the weapon itself, today we are grabbing the sonorous the Velkana hunting horn, as it has a great general stat line along with the notes to play the best general buffing songs, in attack up large, defense up large, and a little bit of the old max stamina up echo wave to really seal the deal. The augments for this weapon in the build are an affinity and a health regen, because affinity is cheap and fantastic, and health regen is honestly just something I never want to hunt without given the choice. It's just far too convenient and far too useful. As for the armor pieces, it'll probably become quite clear how we intend to accomplish our goals. 3 pieces of Tigrex armor for free meal secret, which gives you a 75% chance to not consume an item on use. This combined with a full 5 ranks of wide range is the absolute pillar of this build, as the whole point of it is using pills, of which you can only carry 5, and they only last 20 seconds apiece, which if used back to back would last 1 minute and 40 seconds total.
That's not good enough!
If we extend this logic and assume that on average we will only consume 1 out of every 4 might pills, that means we can effectively carry 20 might pills, which if used back to back would last for 400 seconds or 6 minutes and 40 seconds. This is already ridiculous, and it's enough for top tier builds to kill a squishy monster, but it's not quite enough for an average hunt in Monster Hunter, is it? So how far can we push this? Thankfully, you can also bring the materials to craft 10 more might pills, which with free meal secret might as well be 40 more might pills on top of the original 20, for a total usage time back to back of, get this, 1200 seconds or 20 minutes. Filling in the decorations then, it starts to become clear that for the most part, skill-wise, this is mostly just a support build with a touch of hunting horn flair. And as a whole, the build comes with 5 earplugs, which simply allows you the freedom to move and act when you otherwise wouldn't be able to, 5 wide range to allow your items to affect your hunting partners, 4 attack boost because it just sort of fits, 3 weakness exploit to try and get the most bang for our buck, as 50% affinity for 3 slots is pretty damn sweet, 3 handicraft before mantles as it pushes this weapon into purple sharpness for more damage, 3 free meal, 3 speed eating to make item consumption significantly faster, 2 recovery up as it just enhances your self-healing ability, with a 3rd recovery up sitting in your bandit mantle, 2 horn maestro to elongate your songs, 1 health boost because endgame monsters hit real hard, 1 quick sheath to help you access your items faster, and of course the Tigrex 3-set bonus of free meal secrets.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe.
As for mantles, you'll want to be running Glider Mantle and Bandit Mantle, as they essentially just function as extra skills, as their durations and cooldowns mean that you will only be mantle-less for 30 seconds or so at a time during the fight. That said, you may notice that the Glider Mantle doesn't have any jewels in it, and that is entirely because of my own personal decoration collection. In an ideal world, this mantle would have 2 sheath/handicraft jewels for 2 ranks of handicraft and 2 ranks of quick sheath. As such, the build looks a little bit more sharpness hungry in the footage than it actually is with all of the jewels in place. As well, while we're on the subject, in the armor slots, the earplug jewel in the waist should be earplug/vitality, and the handicraft in the legs should be handicraft/gobbler, which would allow the gobbler jewel in the legs to be vitality for a full 3 ranks of health boost.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
As for the playstyle, it's actually quite simple in theory, and in fact, the pure idea of this build doesn't require much thought at all. However, the execution of it is a whole other story. At the start of the quest, and anytime a hunter dies, you want to make sure that you use Mega Demon Drug and Mega Armor Skin. You want to use Demon Powder and Hardshell Powder every 3 minutes, which you have to time more or less by feel, and then the big boys, you want to use Adamant Pills and Might Pills every 20 seconds, or as close to that as you can safely reach. Again, there's no real way to time this stuff in game once everyone has the Mega Demon Drug and Mega Armor Skin buff, so you really just have to get a feel for how long a 20-second interval is.
Tick-tock, motherfucker!
And you also, of course, have the ability to heal your teammates if needed. Outside of this, you want to make sure that you keep your hunting horn songs in rotation, making sure that attack up, defense up, and stamina up never run out. But outside of that, your main priority is just smacking the monster on the head as much as you can in between your support-lead duties. It may not sound like all that much presented like this, but trust me, playing this build is like juggling plates, but in a way that is actually incredibly unique and fun too. I would highly recommend moving your item bar around so your pills are right next to each other and close to your potions, and while you're at it, you should also add Craft Might Pill and Craft Adamant Pill to your radial wheel, just to lower your downtime mid-hunt. One thing to be careful of as well is corner horning. Don't ever be a corner horner. Sure, sometimes it isn't safe to be near the monster, and during these moments you can prep some music, but even with this build, it is silly to play hunting horn without actively attacking the monster, so don't be like that. As a whole, I am absolutely ecstatic about how this build has turned out. It functions exactly how I imagined to, but if anything, it gained more support abilities, and it is surprisingly effective in a multiplayer setting as a result. It tears the rug out from under the old idea of support builds, and it has the potential to bring us into an entirely new age of buffing, an age where I can make every other hunter's numbers way larger for the entire time, and therefore, as a result, make people enjoy themselves more. Because who doesn't like seeing bigger numbers on their screen? No one. No one dislikes big numbers. Even dual blades. Yes, I know your secret. I know that you like seeing bigger numbers. This build raises your friends up while still being a ton of fun to play on its own, and there really isn't a better way for me to put it than that. Alright everyone, I've been Cotton Dinosaur and this has been the Pill Popper build. Do you like this build as much as I do? What other crazy and unique builds would you like to see us try out next? Like if you liked the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. This is the brand new outro to tell you all the things that you do that we love, so let's start with something simple and say, oh, we love your eyes. When they're watching us play video games, when we make a bunch of jokes that are kinda lame, or when they gaze upon our failures as we try to kill the monsters or report important news about the Kingdom Animalia. Rage, Cotton, and Hollow are all here, talking about the things you want to hear. So if you want to be the first to hear, like and subscribe and the bell and we'll cheer. Some of you are patrons, even though we are all the noobs and you're the pros. There's nothing we can do to thank you. No, really, there's nothing we could possibly do. Goodbye.